Have you heard of Sunfyre? Talk about a magnificent dragon. This Targaryen beast wasn't just any fire-breathing lizard. Oh no. Sunfyre, also known as Sunfyre the Golden, was a real looker. Imagine scales that shimmered like gold in the sun. That's Sunfyre all over. And his wings, forget boring brown bat wings. Sunfyre rocked soft pink membranes. He even had these cool orange frills around his neck and body, just to add some extra pizzazz. They say Sunfyre was the most beautiful dragon anyone had ever seen. Can you believe it? Welcome back to your nerdy show. Today we will talk about the life of this golden dragon. From House of the Dragon, let's begin. The life of Sunfyre. In House of the Dragon, Sunfyre the Magnificent. Remember him? Well, this dragon gets around. He chilled at high tide for Lena Valarion's funeral. Then the next day, whoosh, Aegon's on his back, flying him back to King's Landing. King Aegon ain't one to sit things out, you know? When it's time to fight, he hops on Sunfyre at the dragon pit, and they jet off to join the battle. Talk about making an entrance. When the guys on Aegon's side see Sunfyre sparkling in the sun, they know the king's in the house. Things get crazy fast. Aemond spots Sunfyre and holds his own dragon back for a sec, but then all heck breaks loose. Sunfyre takes on this other dragon, Meleys, and it's a brutal fight. Sunfyre gets slashed by Meleys' claws, but he's not going down without a fight. He even manages to bite off one of Meleys' horns before things get even worse. Just when you think it can't get more intense, another giant dragon, Vhagar, shows up with Aemond on its back. Vhagar lets loose a huge blast of fire that clips Sunfyre's wing. Sunfyre and Aegon go crashing down into the woods. Luckily, they both survive, but they're both in bad shape. Even hurt, Sunfyre curls up around Aegon to protect him. Now that's a loyal dragon. Fate of Sunfyre. In book, buckle up for some dragon talk. Fire and Blood tells us all about Sunfyre, this legendary dragon who apparently stole the show. Imagine an egg hatching, and out pops a creature with scales that weren't just goldish, but literally gleamed like real gold in the sunlight. And his wings, forget boring brown. They were a soft pink. Plus, he breathed fire that shone gold too. Talk about a majestic entrance. Sunfyre wasn't quite full grown during the Dance of the Dragons. Kind of like a young adult dragon. He was older than a couple of other dragons around, but not quite as old as some of the big guys on the other side. Still, that didn't stop him from being a total powerhouse. He grew strong and fierce fast. Aegon, the rider of this magnificent beast, loved Sunfyre so much, he even based his whole royal symbol on him. He had a three-headed golden dragon as his sigil, all to honor his amazing golden dragon companion. Pretty cool, right? So, Rhaenyra Targaryen finally made it back to Dragonstone on that fateful day, October 22nd, 130 AC. But things didn't exactly go according to plan. Imagine, she arrives on the Violland, probably feeling relieved to be home, only to be snatched up by Sir Alfred Brune on behalf of the Greens, those supporting her half-brother, Aegon. Now, the story gets interesting, depending on who you ask, pro-Greens or pro-Blacks. The reunion with Aegon went very different. Septon Eustace, a Green sympathizer, claims Rhaenyra laughed when she saw Aegon's wounded dragon, Sunfyre. Sounds pretty harsh, right? On the other hand, Mushroom, a source favoring Rhaenyra's side, says she was all contemplative, reflecting on the brutal war. Either way, things ended tragic. Aegon, well, he fed Rhaenyra to Sunfyre, his dragon. Gross. Apparently, Sunfyre wasn't interested until, yikes, Alfred pricked Rhaenyra with his dagger, and the smell of blood did the trick. Sunfyre blasted her with fire, then chomped down on her arm and shoulder. Brutal, poor Rhaenyra didn't stand a chance. Sunfyre made a 6-course meal out of her, leaving just her lower leg behind. And to make it even worse, her son, Prince Aegon the Younger, had to witness the whole. Reports say Elinda Massey, who was there, was so horrified she gouged out her own eyes. Talk about a nightmare scenario. So yeah, Rhaenyra's return to Dragonstone was a disaster. This event, with its conflicting accounts and brutal details, is sure to spark some conversation among fans of the Targaryen history. If you're interested in learning more about the Dance of the Dragons and the fight for the Iron Throne, there's a ton of info out there to explore. Aegon II wasn't exactly having a good time after feeding his half-sister to Sunfyre. Sure, he might have won the battle, but poor Sunfyre was messed up. King Aegon probably held on to some hope that his dragon would recover and take to the skies again. Unfortunately, Sunfyre just kept getting worse, wouldn't eat, and eventually died from those nasty wounds on December 9th, 130 AC. Rough, grief-stricken Aegon wanted revenge and almost had Baela Targaryen, Rhaenyra's daughter who is still a prisoner, executed. Luckily, someone, probably with some sense, talked him out of it to avoid further conflict with House Velaryon. Aegon then dragged himself back to King's Landing to try and rule, but things were shaky. He even sent for new dragon eggs from Dragonstone, hoping to hatch a super Sunfyre, but no dice. No new dragons for Aegon. Things went from bad to worse because guess what? Aegon II got poisoned and kicked the bucket soon after. The throne then passed to his son Aegon the Younger, who became Aegon III Targaryen. So yeah, Aegon II's reign wasn't exactly a Targaryen highlight reel. If you're curious about the aftermath of the Dance of the Dragons and how Aegon III fared, there's a whole lot to explore in the world of Westeros. So this is for today's video. Till next video, bye-bye and take care.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.